Hi students, welcome to the video lecture 2 on the topic buoyancy. So in today's class we will cover the topics stability of floating bodies and experimental method to determine the metacentric height. So first we will study stability of the floating bodies. So in the previous class already we have discussed about the stability of the submerged bodies. So what do you mean by stability? Uh, Stable equilibrium, that means when the body regains its original position and the body is given a small disturbance, it is called as the stability or stable equilibrium. So the stability of this floating body is determined from the position of the metacenter. The stability of the floating body is determined from the position of the metacenter. So in case of floating bodies, the weight of the body that will be equals to the weight of the liquid displaced. Once again I will repeat it. In case of floating bodies, the weight of the body will be equals to the weight of the liquid displaced. So now first we will study stable equilibrium. So for stable equilibrium of the floating body, this metacenter M will be always above the center of gravity of the body. So let us consider a floating body under equilibrium. So both this center of G and B, that is G is the center of gravity of the body and B the center of buoyancy, both lie on the same axis. So from this point G, weight W, that is weight of the floating body, will be acting in the vertical downward direction, and whereas the force of buoyancy will be always acting from this point, that is center of buoyancy, and it will be always acting vertically in the upward direction. So when this floating body and it is given a slight angular displacement in the clockwise direction, so there will be a shift. The shift takes place from buoyancy, that is from B to B1, and this body is given a small angular displacement in the clockwise direction. So the center of buoyancy will shift from B to B1. That means from this B1 point, the force of buoyancy is supposed to act. The line of action of force of buoyancy in this new position, it will intersect this normal axis of the body at some point, say M, and this point M is called as the metacenter. So here this W, that is weight of the floating body, is acting vertically in the downward direction through this point B, and whereas force of buoyancy is acting vertically in the upward direction through this point B1, that is new center of buoyancy. So here this both buoyant force Fb and this weight W both constitute a couple which is acting in the anti-clockwise direction and thus returning the body to its original position. So you can see here W is acting in this direction whereas force is acting in this direction. That means both this buoyant force Fb and this W constitute a couple acting in the anti-clockwise direction only, thus bringing back this floating body to its original position. So this is called as the stable equilibrium. See, for now unstable equilibrium, this point M, that is metacenter, will be always below this point G, below the center of gravity of the body. So here also under equilibrium both the points lie on the same line axis. So when this body is given a small angular displacement in the clockwise direction, so the center of buoyancy will shift towards B to B1. So here now this force of buoyancy will meet the normal axis of the body at some point, say M. This point is called as the metacenter, and here in this condition this point M is below the G, it is for unstable equilibrium. So here also both this buoyant force Fb and this weight W both constitute a couple acting in the clockwise direction only, thus overturning of the body takes place. That means the body does not regain its original position. For that purpose it is called as the unstable equilibrium. So always you remember, for stable equilibrium point M is above G, for unstable equilibrium point M is below G. And third one we will study what is neutral equilibrium. The sketch is not shown here. For neutral equilibrium, both this point M, that is meta center, and G, the center of gravity of the body, both lie on the same point. So such a body is called as the neutral equilibrium of the floating body. So next we will study how to determine the metacentric height experimentally. So consider a floating vessel as shown in the figure here. So this is the floating body, or we can call it as a floating vessel. So under equilibrium, both this point G and point B lie on the same axis. Let this small W1, let this small W1 be the known weight placed over the center of the vessel as shown in the figure. So let me write here, let W, capital W, be the weight of the vessel including W1, where G is the center of gravity of the body and B the center of buoyancy of the vessel. So here the weight W1 is moved across the vessel towards right through a distance x. See here, you can see here this W1 is moved across the vessel towards right through a distance x. So when this weight W1 has moved towards right through a distance x, the vessel itself is tilted here. The vessel is tilted. So when this weight has shifted from center towards right through distance x, as the vessel is tilted, now the center of gravity of the body G, it shift from G to G1 here. At the same time, the center of buoyancy B is shifted from B to B1. So already we know that from this point G only, the weight of this floating body will be acting vertically in the downward direction, whereas force of buoyancy in the FB will be always acting through this point B in the vertically in the downward direction. So now as the vessel has been tilted, now the weight of the floating vessel, that W, it is acting through this point G1 now vertically in the downward direction, whereas force of buoyancy FB is acting through this new point B1. So this line of action of force of buoyancy will meet the normal axis of the body at some point, say M. This point is called as the metacenter. Already we know it. So now as the vessel is tilted, so under equilibrium, how we'll write this? The moment caused by the moment of load W1 through a distance x must be equals to the moment caused by the shift of center of gravity from G to G1, must be equal to the center of gravity, must be equal to the moment caused by the shift of center of gravity from G to G1. So how we'll write the equation here? The moment due to change of G, the moment due to change of G, that will be equals to G1 into W. So we have written here the momentum force G1 into W through this point G1, where W weight is acting here. So this W, as it is, I have written here. So G1 is replaced by Gm tan theta. The same sketch I have drawn here. So this is Mg, and this point is G1, that is when the vessel is tilted, so the center of gravity G has shifted from G to G1. So this angle of theta, that is the angle of heel, this theta is measured by means of the plumb line and the protractor which is attached to the vessel. So now already we know that tan theta, so tan theta is given by opposite divided by base. So opposite is G dash divided by Mg, because we want to calculate this Mg. Mg is nothing but the metacentric height, the distance between metacenter and the center of gravity of the body. It is called as the metacentric height. The distance Mg only we should calculate here now. So therefore tan theta is given by G dash divided by Mg. So therefore G dash will be equals to Mg into tan theta. So that is only here G dash is replaced by Gm or Mg into tan theta. Now next, the moment due to movement of W1 through a distance x. So that will be equals to w1 into x. So now equating this equation and this equation, equating these two equations here. So w1 into x, that will be equals to w into gm tan theta. So this gm, that is metacentric height, this mg, that will be equals to small w1 into x divided by w into tan theta. So this is the procedure how to calculate the metacentric height by the experimental method.